Hi and welcome to CHD. We're going to be having a look at how to, out of the box, assign an IP address and go into the configuration of an IP camera. We've got two software packages that we use. The first one is this one. It's already installed. I'll just do a quick search. Press the search button on my network. So here we have an IP address here of a camera. If I want to change that, I can just change that 29. That's my router IP address. I'll leave that because that is the IP address of my router. And I go modify. Successful. Search again. Looking for 129. Rightio, there we have it. That's changed. Now the other software that we use, I'm just going to install this. Just press next. Okay. Allow. I'll just pause this until it finishes. So here we see two cameras coming up here. I'll just click on one of them. So I've got an IP address of 125 for that one, and I've got an IP address of 100 for this one. I'll change the 100 to there you go, 107. Go modify. Says me it's done. Go to Internet Explorer. It's asking me to install a plugin. Allow it, and up it comes. So if, you can always just press the install button too. The default password is 123456. Rightio, so here we're looking at an IP camera. It's running OnViv 2.5.1.12. For basic setup, we've already done the IP address. I'll just come into there and just show you that there we have 107. The next thing that you want to do is go to media, go to encode, and change the encode to what suits your MVR. So most of the time it'll either be one or the other, 720 or 1080p. I'll log into another camera as well. This one only has the choice of 2, so I'll log into the other camera. I think that was 125. See how we go. There we go. And again, the same password. 123456. Log on. Go to media. Go to encode. Now, with this particular camera here, we have a few extra choices that we didn't have with the other camera here. There are different boards that are in the cameras. So with this one here, just cancel out of there for 1 sec. Go to configuration. I just clicked on the on the configuration menu of this other camera here. I'll just put it there so it's less confusing. So this is the IP address of 125. The storage, go to encode, and we've got a few other options here. This is a 5 megapixel, so I click 5. We don't have a substream on this one on 5, but we do have it on 3 megapixels, and I can choose again what quality I want the substream. So I'm going to choose D1, being the higher resolution out of all of those. Click save. So you can change, I'll just put that down for a sec, move these over. Got 2 cameras here. Hold on, let me just go into the software that we need. IP camera, IP search. So if I go into my search here and I go search everything that's on my LAN, I'm going to come up with 2 cameras, and I logged into those 2 cameras. So here we have 107, and here we have 120, 125. The 120, this is obviously the 107. I go to networks, just confirm it, that's the 107, and go to media, networks, setup. There is a breakdown menu there. The one tab before I went into is 105. Rightio, I can either change my IP from here. This is how you would normally do it. When you normally start off, you'll go into IP camera search utility, and you can just change it there. Now after you've done that, I'll just exit out of there. Then we go into Internet Explorer, and then we'll go to the configuration tab, which will pop up here. We do have different languages. We have English and Chinglish. That's not the Chinglish. That's not the Chinglish. This is the Chinglish. So most things are they're pretty good. A lot of the time you'll see a slight spelling mistake or pronunciation of a word. You know, it's not quite English, so we call it Chinglish. But these cameras are pretty good. I have not seen any flaws yet with it in our system maintenance. So if we're setting up IP camera, we'll go and get all our cameras online, put them all on the network. We'll go into our search, IP search, go address a IP address. Really saving time feature here is if we're doing it all on the one site, we can load a config file. It does save it as in config file.ini. We could select one. What I normally do is I'll put my IP addresses in there, maybe start the recorder at 100, and then I'll go 101 for the first camera, right up until the rest of the cameras, whatever that may be. And I can just go through. I've created some default settings that I wanted, and I XML'd and just changed the IP address in the config. There is no checksum, or there's no thing like that. We can just XML whatever we need to on the config file, save it as that IP address, and just go bang 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 bang, and in seriously half an hour you got 16-20 cameras all configured the way you need. So you only really need to do the config file once for the job, and then just change your IP addresses and you're online and you're up and going. That's for the camera side of things. The network video recorder again is the other side. We can do the same thing with the network video recorder as well, loading it in a config file. So if you need config files, we're happy to supply, or even happy to program up your system for you. So all you need to do is just install your Ethernet cabling, your power supply, terminate your connections, plug all the cameras in and focus them up, and your job is seriously finished. But if you want to go through some of these settings, I might as well take the time now to show you a few little things. Here we have some menus to go backwards and forth. They don't automatically go backwards and forth, so click the backwards and forth. Sometimes you get a little bit frustrated. You go, oh, where's my Ethernet set up? So if I go over to here, and let's say I was doing something here, and I'm clicking around and I'm trying to find out where my network settings is, where's my IP address, and we don't look over here, we don't move those back. It's a very obvious thing, but when you're new to something, or you don't really know the little quirkiness of everything, I'm just trying to point out the one quirkiness that I have seen here is it doesn't automatically reset when I were to go to another tab and go into another menu. That's the only one in here. Seeing that there is a lot of space here, the manufacturer could have made another tab and put some of the network settings, or another one, network 1 or network 2, and put some of those tabs into that other menu, so there is actually no forwards and back. But there we go. And I can't drag, I can't move this screen over, so I can't make it slightly bigger. It is the size that it is. Rightio, so here we go back to our network setting. There's our IP address, there's our router IP address in our camera. We do have some other settings. If you wanted to use them, you can. Cloud hosting, yeah, not too don't really like all of that remote hosting. If I've got video camera footage I don't want anybody accessing, or I don't want my footage going anywhere else, yeah, so you can set it up the way you want it. It's just going to reset it. So give it a couple of seconds. You see it's saved, it's changed. That was actually a long time. Can FTP if we want to. Into media, again another menu screen here. It's just a brief outline, so it's a 3 megapixel, sub is D1. I don't have to enable these things if I don't want to, just disable them. Don't really want anything on my cameras, don't want the time and date. My PC will, sorry, my NVR will tell me the time and date, and a lot of the time if you do enable that, where the camera is producing the time and date and the NVR, you might get a few people that are a little bit narky about things, and they'll say, oh, you know, I've got 2 time and dates, and they won't be happy with that, or one time and date is 3 seconds out, you know. So just be aware of that. It's embarrassing when the 2 times they won't sync. So I just disable it. Don't give them the option. Is my theory on things, and they don't need it. The cameras can come with a TIFF card. You can get cameras. We can order them in especially for you that will have audio inbuilt. So you'll have a microphone, and you can hook things up to a PA system as well if you wish. So if you had a large install, they've got a PA system, break and enter occurs, you might integrate it with a Challenger or a concept panel, and you know, you might turn around and have some voice files being triggered off an auxiliary. Whatever the case, you can do that. You've got 4 outputs, you've got 4 inputs with the NVRs that we supply for these cameras. So you can do some nice little tricky scheduled programming working off a calculated auxiliary. So you can do a lot of things with the NVRs. As I said before, we've got our config files here. I normally enable reboot every day. I'll stagger this time, so the next camera, as you can see here, this one was rebooting at 3:01, and the next one I might do in about 20 maybe 30 seconds or something like that, and I'll have, depending on the site, you should always reboot your system, maybe not every day. You can pick which day you want, and you should, you know, do it stagger whatever camera it is, you know, that's not important. You don't have to do it. I just recommend at least once a week, just reboot the camera. What else? So we do have daylight saving time that's enabled as well if you want to. This should read actually GMT 10 where we're located. Rightio, so that's about it. That's about all I wanted to show you with this video on the IP camera. That's the setup, so I'll just run really quickly through the setup. So search, do your IP address, you know, do your encoding, what you want it to be, the 3 megapixel, 5 megapixel, whatever. Save it. That's about it, really. That's all you really need to do with an IP camera. It's that simple. Thanks for watching, and check out our website at www.chd.com.au, which is SEEHD.com.au. Cheers, thank you.